I'm like trying to do like this to show you what it's going to be, but it's like centering my face, so it's in all the words. So I'm like having to do this, and so the we were able to get a little more information. I was on the right track. That potentiometer is bad, I believe. I tried to adjust it and it didn't do the trick. And things always break where they're touched, where they rotate, or where they move. And so this is no different. I think we just have a potentiometer that just went bad in that lower position. And so in my repair bag, I happen to have a DCI, or I'm sorry, yeah, DCI 9258. This is a pretty common part. This potentiometer is a variable resistor. And what that does is as it rotates, the resistance value goes up and down. And that will tell the machine what position the rotation is in, which gives it an idea of what the position of the chair is in. So the way the chair works is there's a main board, and the main board takes in all these different sensors and different things, and the chair can make decisions on what it can and can't do based on those. And essentially, if it loses that sensor, then it basically it either won't move, or it'll freak out, or it'll throw an error, whatnot. But this particular part, I know for a fact, is on Adec chairs, and it's also on Pelton Crane chairs. It's just on a lot of different chairs, and it's in multiple places for usually the base and the back. So this is really a worthy part to have in your repair um, inventory. One thing that I really like about DCI is not only do they give you, obviously the part you need, but they spend a lot of time coming up with really thoughtful instructions. And what's they've got basically instructions here for this is for our ADEC for 1040, and then also 1011 and 1021. And we have basically, this is for the seat adjustment, and then right here, this is us. This is actually for the base up and down. And so we're going to be following these instructions right here. Um, but if just keep in mind, there's also Pelton Crane right here, and then right here. These are just really, this is great information. It's all online. You can actually search this up and look at this closer for yourself. But this is really the heart of dental repair. And these little manuals are always great to pay attention to, because they'll tell you exactly how to do the types of things that you need to do to fix your equipment. So we're going to go ahead and basically, we're going to unplug the chair, because for this particular scenario, actually, I'm not going to unplug the chair, because in this case, the plug is actually downstairs. I'm going to just disconnect power to the part, and this should be fine for this scenario. So what I'm going to do is there's a little tab right here, and I'm going to pull. So I'm going to pay attention to this. I'm going to remember black is up, okay? I have had an experience where I've plugged these in upside down before, and it is not really keyed whole. So if that happens, you'll get really crazy things. It'll still kind of work, but it'll actually work in the opposite direction. So that's weird. And then also, typically wiring has like a memory. So this one kind of wants to go back in the correct orientation. So I'm just not really going to mess with that a lot, and it'll be fine. So for this process, I'm going to need a couple tools. The first tool I'm going to need is my little Allen wrench again, and we're kind of back here to um, actually. So we're back here. One of the great things about being in a dental office is they actually have lights. Amazing technology that maybe I can figure out how to turn on. So maybe that'll make things a little better. All right. So if I can't keep my head out of the way. So I'm gonna take this screw out. All right, at least I'm not gonna take it out. I'm just gonna loosen it. Then what I'm gonna do is loosen this bracket again. I'm not gonna remove it. I'm just gonna loosen it. Now what's gonna happen is this may come off. And I'm gonna rethink what I'm doing here. So I'm going to take that further off. That'll allow me to take this gear off. possibly. There we go. Okay, so the gear's coming off. And then what I'm going to do is this panel wrench is specifically designed for this type of a nut. All right, it's a panel nut. So, ooh, man, I'm lying to you. This one actually doesn't fit. This typically fits different switches and things, but it does not fit this. So that's a little bit of a not unexpected. So no problem. I'm going to take, you know, basically, if I was by myself, I would just use this. So I'll probably, but I also have this really cool, um, wrench. It'll fit in places that a standard wrench can't fit. But you guys got me, so I'm just gonna go with my gut here. So pliers are just my way here. So I'm just gonna loosen that up. Ooh, come on, baby. Sometimes you gotta tuck nice to stuff. All right, come on, sweetheart. All right, there we go. A little bit of crud on there. All right, so now we're moving. All right, so I guess I can just take that off in my hand. I'm just gonna leave that on there. All right, so now I'm just gonna spin this off. I know I've gone back and forth on wearing gloves when I work. I've been doing this now since 2001, so I've just kind of established my work habits of effectiveness over some safety sometimes. But there's no real nastiness in here. So, all right, so I'm going to take off the old part. There's, it came off in this order. So basically there was, so we're going to take the new part. I'm just going to leave this together for right now. Probably should have had that other part prepped. So this guy, I'm gonna come out of here. It's actually like a little, nice little packaging. So we've got everything that came out, you get in the new pack. If you ever have to reuse hardware, or say you drop something and it's gone forever, you can reuse the old stuff if you need to. Since I don't need to, I'm just gonna put the new stuff on and get that tape off of there. Okay, so I'm going to take the old one out, put the new one in, just like so. And that's actually interesting. It is, huh. So that's really strange. The new one is keyed. But if I was to put it in where the keys were, actually, wait a second. No, you know what? It must have rotated. Duh. Okay, so there's a key right there. There's a cutout right there. Sorry, little brain fart. All right, there's that. Now I'm gonna just try to see if I can get those navigated. Thanks for getting me out of that one. All right, so now that, oh, that was great. All right, lock washer first, and then that. Okay. And then just to show you the right way, and use our crescent wrench. I'm a crescent wrench guy because I just don't like carrying around a ton of tools. My tool bag is pretty slim, just so that I can. I don't know. I've just kind of learned how to work with fewer tools. All right, so those are all kind of together. I'm going to take with my fingernail and just kind of like spread them apart a little bit so that they're going to they'll stand a chance of hitting that connector when I hook it back up. So, okay, so now this part is ready to go back in. Now I remember that right in here, there's actually witness mark of where the washer was on this side, so I can kind of remember it's there. This screw is going to go back in there. And then, because I know this is going to be an issue, let's see. Now, I'm going to actually reference my instructions here. It's going to say, rotate the potentiometer gear clockwise until rotation stops. So I'm expecting that clockwise means as I'm facing it. So I'm going to turn it clockwise till it stops. So it stopped. Now I'm just going to leave it there for right now. I'm going to put this guy on so it's where it needs to be. And remember, we're going to rotate clockwise until it stops. Then we're going to rotate it counterclockwise. So that's just going to hold it in place for right now. Here's this. We're going to get that back in place. Oh, so that is going to be like that. All right, so everything's kind of back where it was. All right, I'm going to get that. Okay. So I'm going to take this, rotate, get that loosened up. Okay. So clockwise until it stops. All right. Maybe I tightened that too much. Oh, no. All right. Oof. I feel like there's things in life where they've like prepared me for this job. One of those is definitely that surgery game operation where you have to like get stuff that you drop. So I'm good at that game, but I'm also trying to be better at not dropping stuff. Okay, so let me, and I'm a repetitious, like, I think when you work on equipment, kind of repeating your process is good. Like, kind of like checking steps as you go leads to more reliable repairs. So that's kind of the way I work. And hopefully it's not driving you crazy, but all right, so we're clockwise, all the way clockwise. Now what I'm going to do is it says rotate 2 teeth. So it's home. That's the position we're in. So now I'm going to, and that's now, and they said we're going to start all the way down. I'm going to actually start where I want there all the way down to be. So I want there all the way down to be a little bit raised so that we don't encounter the same problem. So this is the new all the way down. And I'm going to go ahead and it says rotate counterclockwise 2 teeth. So there's 1 tooth. I'm going to rotate it up 1. There's 1 tooth, 2 teeth. All right. So that says, according to the manual, that and it's actually disconnected right now. So just in case, that's interesting. So, maybe that part was like actually, I don't know, maybe it wasn't doing anything. That's kind of interesting because it's running with it not hooked up. So that is now tight. Let me just double check. Everything looks like it's meshing up okay. Everything is secure. Now I'm going to take this and hook it back up. And there's 3 little wires. So I'm just going to make sure everything, or 3 little pins there. Hook that in. And now, all right, come on, buddy. See how something feels like it's hitting there. That's really strange. All right. There we go. Oh man, that's just awesome. Okay. Well, that's... Oh, so I guess maybe that is... You know what? Ah, that's interesting. So you know what's going on there? Those are actually longer. Get a load of that. So those are actually, well, so how about them apples? I'm just gonna go ahead and be like bada bing, bada boom, and bada boom. All right. And so the reason I'm gonna do that is so that when this actually goes back together, I'm gonna straighten those out. All right, so when this goes back together, those, all right, here, guide these into place. That was weird. So when you're trying to shove something back together, you just got to be a little bit careful sometimes, because sometimes things are trying to like give you information as you're doing it. And obviously I was looking for the engagement of that lock, you know, like that. And it wasn't going. I was like, shoving it. And, you know, the real problem was it too long. So I would have just broken something if I would have just kind of mindlessly shoved it back on there. So now let's go ahead and see what we got. So we're going up. Now we're going to go down. Sucker. All right, so we're still in the same place. So something, all right, so we replace that. All right, so if we replace that, so that's right up. I'm gonna try turning this just one more. It said 2. You know what? Maybe we'll go. That's weird. Why is that? Did that? So I did tighten that down. Why was that? All right. All right, so let's back this off again. All right. Whoa, loosen that up. All right, I'm gonna rotate that way. And that's not turning the, so when I tighten that, it's actually turning the blue part on the inside of it. So that rotates. So that's what's happening. That's what I'm actually doing right there. All right, so we're down. We're gonna turn it. Oh, come on, buddy. So let's tighten. Oh my gosh. I don't know, Kyle. I'm usually more successful in this. All right. Okay. There we go. So that's down. so there's that. Now we're not 1, 2. Okay. It's tight. All right, let's see. Okay. All right. So I think what we got here is we have a scenario where the potentiometer, I think, should be communicating to the board, telling the machine what to do. We're not stopping where we need to stop, which is making me think that maybe the problem is actually in the board itself. So I'm going to go ahead and probably replace the board, and that is we're gonna see if that solves the issue. So my hunch is there's gonna be part 3 to this. So, but these are some of the things that you would typically see replacing this part. We definitely did replace that, and but as you take steps in troubleshooting, you start with the easier things, do the more, and things just gradually get harder. But at this point, again, like I said, that board takes those signals from the sensor and it creates, it does things inside the machine, and it just seems to me like right now, like, okay, we're not stopping when we need to stop. The information's just needs to be, like that. This is the board. So that's what I'm gonna do now. And we have a used board, so we're gonna throw it in there, and that'll be the next part of our adventure. Thank you.